What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 202 of the Cheesy Controller Podcast. I'm your host, Anton LaPlatte. Joining me, as always, we have the Ray Trace Durag, Mr. Devon.
Gum no.
And we got the most degenerate squid in the sea, Jalen Roberts.
I want you to know, they didn't invent boats until after the Iron Curtain fell.
We got a jam-packed episode for you guys this week. We're going to be talking about God of War, One Piece, PSVR 2, Embracer Group, and EA Games. We are 3 days and 10 hours as of recording from God of War Ragnarok coming out, and I got it preloaded, excited. I need to beat 7 Remake, the Yuffie DLC. I'm halfway through it. Actually, like, more than halfway. I'm like 20% into the second chapter, and it's only 2 chapters.
Nice. How do you feel about Yuffie?
She's cool. I see that she'd be broken in the game because she's just, like, cracked. But,
what makes her so cracked?
She's a ninja, so she's ridiculously fast. Like, her attacks aren't like everybody else's attack. Like, even Barrett kind of had, like, a slowness and stop. But, like, Yuffie is, like, throw your shuriken, and you could dash your shuriken. You could use your, what are they called? The chakras?
Oh, the mudras from
the mudras,
14?
Yeah. So, like, if you don't have your shuriken, like, if you threw your shuriken and, like, it's stabbing into the monsters, you can cast your mudras. You can, the synchronize, I think it's called the synchronize system, the synergy system with Sonon. And is he somebody we're supposed to know? Is he, okay, he's just new?
Nope.
They make it seem like bro's just been around. And I'm like, But I mean, he's cool. Like, his design's cool. His system as a whole is kind of cool.
He's got like a bow staff, right?
Yeah. But it's like a Wu-Tai. I only have 2 so far, and they're very Wu-Tai, like samurai inspired, I want to say. They're really cool.
Okay.
And yeah, Yuffie, like, because everything's so short, it just feels like they're raining materia. They're just like, here, you need all the materia. And I'm like, I'm not even paying that much attention because she has elemental moves as just like her abilities. So anything that I'm really going out my way to exploit weaknesses, I'm better off doing that than using a non-leveled up lightning materia.
Right.
Because, like, none of your accessories or anything.
Hit him with that right tone.
But, yeah, so I gotta just finish that out before God of War hits. Listen to a couple preview, or I guess they're official reviews now, like, because press has had this game for, like, weeks at this point.
Yeah, they've been tearing through it.
Yeah, so it seems really good. Seems like it'll be a solid, like, 30 to 40 hours. And then side stuff will be what'll really take it to that upper, like, not
I think for like completion, they're saying like 40.
40.
Yeah.
And that's Golden Path, or that's because I don't know how much side stuff I'm gonna do. I'm gonna, like, see what the side stuff is hitting on, but
yeah, pretty much.
I didn't platinum the first one, so I definitely don't think I'm gonna go for the plat on this one.
Me neither. I'm sure I didn't need too many more trophies for the plat, but, like, as soon as they were like, yeah, go track down and kill all the ravens, I'm like, I'm not about to do that shit.
Well, I was ignoring the ravens in my playthrough time. The first time, because I had a video in my, like, YouTube. It's probably still in my watch later or something somewhere, and it's like all the raven locations. They, like, start at the beginning of the game and they just walk from raven to raven.
I don't feel like doing that. That's the point. Like, if I saw it, I would take care of it, but if I didn't, it is what it is. And then, like, of course, you know, having to kill all the Valkyries and then like collect all the legendary armor, shit like that. I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing this shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of where I am with platinums. Like, if it's something I'm just genuinely not interested in doing, I'm just not.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, if the game is compelling enough, because like I really enjoyed God of War 2018, but like it is not a game of the generation for me. You know, like it's a good game, and it's like it's a solid Sony first party like fair. It's like Sad Dad Simulator, like third person character action, extremely cinematic, like all of these things that we know when we think PlayStation game, when like the general public thinks PlayStation game, they've come to think Uncharted, Last of Us, God of War, Horizon, like all these games that like I list those games and you start to get a picture of what I'm talking about in your head. And God of War Ragnarok's just going to be another one of those. And I haven't really had one of those in a while. Because I want to say the last time I need to play Ghost of Tsushima.
I was going to say you either do Ghost or Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah,
like.
So I didn't really
more Horizon though.
Well, I mean, I played like 40 hours of the original Horizon. I got like probably 3/4 of the way through that game, but then Breath of the Wild. And then going back to that game after being gone from it for so long, like I feel like games have gotten better of the if you put them down and you come back, you're not like completely lost. Like quest logs have helped a lot with that. Like just kind of, you know. But Horizon, I came back and I was just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
There's an exclamation mark right there for you.
Yeah, but like I went to the exclamation mark and there was nothing there, and then it was like because I was at a part where the story branched off into two paths, and so like I went from the first where I was at for the first exclamation mark, there was nothing there, and then I got into a fight with something that I definitely wasn't supposed to be fighting between the fast travel point and the other exclamation mark, and then I was just like,
what was it, the Rock Breaker? It's like some shit. It's like some shit in a pit, and it's like, hey,
it's a building.
Yo, is it a building?
The thing I'm remembering is like a giant ass like rectangle building thing. It was in a pit, and it was a fuckload of people around, and it was just huge.
Fuck, I don't remember the last time I played Horizon. It was probably like 2019.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
and that's been generous.
Boss. That's where I stopped playing and just never went back to. Literally the final boss.
Oh, I mean.
Oh, you can finish that off. Unless the final boss was just some bullshit.
Oh no, didn't see it. I gathered the two tribes, and I was like, I could stop here.
Yeah, I think that's what I was doing, was gathering the two tribes.
Oh, well, it sounds like y'all are both farther than me. I don't really remember the last thing I did.
But, yeah, so I'm just like, last thing on God of War. It's going to look crazy because this is going to be one of the first, like... Well, never mind. It has a PS4 version. I was about to say
no. The first PS5 true PS5 exclusive was probably going to be Spider-Man.
Well, it was Demon Souls. It was Demon Souls and Ratchet and Clank, not cross-gen. So we've had some. It's just
Returnal.
Yeah, Returnal. But Returnal is. I don't count Returnal because they weren't first party when it came out and then became first party after the fact.
Nah. Because it's still a PS5 exclusive. So,
yeah, it is.
For now, at least. It'll be on PC before you know it.
I guess that, and also when you were saying how you named games that perfectly encapsulates Sony, that's kind of perfectly encapsulate why I don't care. The only Sony game I care about is Spider-Man, and that was the one game you didn't name.
Well, I mean, because Spider-Man is less of this. Spider-Man
Oh, exactly.
is
exactly.
more of a video game.
It's a
than
video game as video game.
But you haven't played Miles Morales yet. You got to do that.
I do have to do that.
And that's on PS4, and it's not even a 60 game. Like, and I'm sure the PS4 version goes on sale like ridiculously often.
If you get extra, I think it's on extra as well.
I don't think so.
It's also on Steam.
Oh, yeah. Miles Morales isn't out on Steam yet?
Yes, it is.
What the fuck?
Well, no. My bad. 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
2 weeks. My bad. 2 weeks.
I was about to say, I feel like I'd know if it were out on Steam. I feel like I'd look at it on my Steam Deck and then be like, damn. Still not really buying games for my Steam Deck.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 weeks.
Especially since I just got God of War and Anno Mutanium on PlayStation.
The fuck is that?
It's one of those games, I think somebody was recommending it when I was asking for like those 2D pixel art, like sci-fi cyberpunk games. Like the two main ones I got were Anno Mutanium and Katana Zero. And I need to either finish Katana Zero on Switch or I need to catch up to where I am on Steam Deck because it was on sale on Steam. So I got that and started over and got like a couple days in, but not as far in as I am on Switch. Which Switch, I feel like we probably got like 3 more levels left, tops. Just judging by the how long to beat and like what's going on in the story. But yeah, between getting Anno Mutanium and God of War, Steam Deck games are getting pushed further back unless there's like a ridiculous sale, which these PlayStation games have not been going on sale on Steam. Like even the
wants all that money.
Yeah, even the Xbox games will go on sale, and it's like that's why I got Master Chief Collection on Steam, but that is too big of a game to.
How big is it?
Like 100.
Oh, that's a you problem.
Okay, so wait, how much space do you have on your Steam Deck?
I got the 250. I got the 256.
Yeah, I have a 256 SD card in mine, and I don't have anything majorly big on mine. I think the biggest game I have on there is Monster Hunter Rise, but just. You probably couldn't fit Final Fantasy and Spider-Man on there at the same time without needing an SD card. Are you looking now?
Yeah. I'm literally looking it up now.
Well, I mean,
Spider-Man 75 gigs.
Okay.
Is that everything included?
Yeah.
Or is that like the
It's just
the
Spider-Man
whatever edition?
Yeah.
Oh, remastered.
Yeah, it's
That
Spider-Man
includes all the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And not even as separate stuff. It's just like all one package file because that's how it is on PS5. Like just.
And Intergrade is 94.25 gigs, so both of them would fit.
And yeah, I guess you'd have some headroom.
And I'd have space left over.
Yeah. But I mean,
So yeah.
with me just having like Final Fantasy 1 through 7 and not even remake, just regular old 7 and like some small games, like I got Stardew Valley, which is like some megabytes. I think I have Undertale and Deltarune on there. Let me see. Because I don't have anything crazy. Because I just don't have anything crazy on Steam like that in general.
Heck, I'll tell you this right now. This entire week, the only thing I used my Steam Deck for was Sonic Adventure 2.
I have not. This is like the first week I haven't used my Steam Deck. Well, I played a little bit of Vampire Survivors, but Marvel Snap has been taking over my life. Like, this game is...
I've been hearing nothing but good reviews about that game.
So apparently it's the people who made Hearthstone split off, made their own studio, like left Blizzard, started their own studio, and this is the like game they made. It is like as good as the best Hearthstone I ever played in my entire time playing Hearthstone, but condensed. Like, matches are like 3 minutes tops. Even when they add a 7th turn and like do all this stuff, like, it's extremely fast. The only thing I wish they'd let us do like individual PvP. Because like the entire game's PvP, like supposedly you're playing against bots for a certain period of time and it depends on like your rating or whatever, but the bot, even the matches that I knew were obviously bots, it was like they would use strategies that I'm like, I could do that. Like, I have a Nightcrawler Spider-Man combo where, because Miles can summon for 1 energy if you play him after a character's move. So Nightcrawler can move, and I move Nightcrawler to a zone that gives him extra points for moving there, and then be able to summon Spider-Man for 1 energy. And it's just, they're never ready for it. Because even if they destroy Nightcrawler because he moved or after he moved or whatever, it's still...
So is this the game I should get on my phone for when I'm like have downtime between calls? Because I'm almost done with Hunter x Hunter, and I'm not going to know what to do with myself.
I'd say, now's like a really good time to get in because the first battle pass ends tomorrow, I think.
Oh. It's free battle pass? I'm not paying for shit.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. That's the thing. Like, I got the premium one because I wanted the symbiote stuff because that's the like theme of this one. So I got like Carnage and Miles Morales and Spider-Woman but yeah, there is a free path. Like, the real progression of the game, which is your collection level and your rank, you never have to pay for anything on either of those.
All right, I'm downloading it. Because yesterday I was even kicking around the idea again of getting Final Fantasy IV Pixel remaster on my phone. I was like, no. I'm not paying $17 for this.
Well, yeah, Marvel Snap.
On my phone. Mm-hmm.
It is, like, normally I'm not the card gamer, you know? Like, I'll play Yu-Gi-Oh!, but I wasn't the, like, most into Yu-Gi-Oh!. And I played Hearthstone, but, like, Hearthstone was just kind of, like, I could recognize that it was a high-quality, good game. It was just that...
Most problem was always monetization and the fact that its entire gameplay meta always ended up revolving around RNG. To the point where it's like, you had entire decks that were basically, I draw my entire deck to get a card that allows me to get 2 turns so I can kill you in 1 turn effectively.
Yeah. I mean,
yikes.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be like that. People would have like, okay, I have to either draw this card or this card that'll let me draw this card so that I can...
And hopefully you don't have that card that can block this.
The one card.
I'll just
that's
quit.
Also the thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! That makes it better than Hearthstone is you have that respawn. You can't respond in Hearthstone like that. There are no out of turn cards. There's no cards you could play when it's not your turn.
Oh, even Marvel Snap has like, because you have
your
on
spell cards.
reveal. Well, it's just like characters.
And your hand traps.
Nah, but I'm
Well,
technically
just like the equivalent, you know?
yeah. So how it's set up is all the cards are characters, and they have a.
I saw the
energy
Uncle
card.
Ben card.
I think that's fake because,
That's fake.
like, yeah, I've seen a lot of the cards in the game because, yeah, every time you level up, every time you do anything, the free starter battle pass gives you basically an entire deck worth of cards. The amount of, and every time you play against somebody and they use a card you haven't seen, it like pauses, it shows you the card, shows you the effect. And so the fact that I haven't seen Uncle Ben and I've seen regular Spider-Man and I have Miles Morales in my deck, yeah, I don't think that's real.
It is not.
Okay.
A lot of people are reporting that it is. But
Which, like, if
Fake news.
right. Could you guys not do the little bit of research that Jalen's doing?
I mean, and this is part of the thing that would make you believe it is that it's on the Marvel Snap IO page. But then also, like, who's running that?
Right. Because they're running their Twitter. Like, I have seen, so I followed them on Twitter, like, because from the app, they were just like, hey, follow our Twitter. And so I was like, I've played enough of this game that I'll follow them. But people responding to they're like, oh, let me see your best play from over the weekend. Some of the plays I've seen are just disastrous.
Toxic.
But the good thing is, like, even when I've had games where it's like, you can always retreat, which, because every match is ranked. Like, I don't think you have, like, bronze, silver, gold, but you're always climbing or falling, and so you're, like, fighting over these cubes that I'm sure is some Marvel thing.
Cosmic Cubes, probably.
Yeah.
Cubitus.
But so, like, by playing, you put up 1 and your opponent puts up 1. If you snap, it goes up to 4. And then if they snap back, it goes to 8. So you can snap at any point if you think you're going to win. So it's like a risk-reward type of thing. And just
I mean, living in this capitalistic society, I'm liable to snap at any moment.
Yep. Sometimes I snap just to intimidate people. Like, turn 1, they play something, I snap.
Sometimes I snap and then roll.
Out of control.
You.
Speaking of being out of control, Twitter.
Yes. Finally, it's on its deathbed.
Yeah, we are seeing the real-time downfall and demise of our form of entertainment for years.
Was it entertainment or did it just keep us captive?
Both.
Yeah, I definitely got some entertainment value out of it. We'll say that much.
Like,
That's the plot of the new One Piece movie.
So you went and saw that. What do you, instead of talking about Twitter, we'll talk about this One Piece movie because I got a couple questions I want to ask.
Okay,
I would rather talk about One Piece of Twitter.
So we went to the One Piece movie and we accidentally saw it in 4DX.
Sick.
It was in the show. I was like, 4DX, isn't that? I was like, yeah, whatever. I just sat down and the shit started. I'm up here flying all over the place, and like each time Luffy punched, like the wind was blowing in your, like little air puffs were blowing in your ear. So he would do like gum gum, like Gatling, and it was just, and then the seat starts fucking punching you too. It was interesting, but the movie in and of itself is really like a concert. So it's more into the musical aspect because it's about Uta, who is Shank's daughter, and she's like a pop star. but her and Luffy kind of grew up together. And so, she's, doing her thing, having a concert, and the world government's like, yeah, let's kill her. She's too powerful. Let's kill her. And so from there, you throw in the world government, and Luffy's like, yeah, I got to punch it. So, like, the movie was fucking awesome.
And we can learn a thing or two from that. Punch the government.
Yeah. Punch the Marines, punch the government, punch oppressive powers, punch anyone who steps down on people. That's what Luffy's all about. And eating meat.
That's the MC I can get behind right there.
I can get behind that.
You feel me? So the movie is really good. The cast of characters that they brought in was interesting, and it was fun. The soundtrack was definitely a high point in it, which is a good thing since it's basically a musical. So you would hope that it slaps. The animation, they're doing their thing. One Piece has been around for like a fucking decade, so it having cutting edge animation is super dope. They inserted a spoiler form for Luffy, which is awesome because as manga readers were like, yay! Anime onlys were like, whoa, what's that? So yeah,
Okay.
go see this One Piece film ride. It's awesome. It's touching. You don't have to see it in 4DX though, but if you do, you won't be mad. Also, somebody was in there drinking an adult beverage, if you know what I mean.
I mean, they got those bars at there.
Yep.
That's one thing.
All the effects from the 4D. The smoke.
That's a weird. So the thing I wanted to ask you regarding One Piece. Mm-hmm. So we know we're in the final arc of the manga. We know
final arc is final arc really translates to final saga, and a saga is a collection of arcs. So
yeah, final arc as in that it'll be at least 5 more years of. And probably even longer because it's the final one, and you could just pull a Bleach, and your final arc is actually like 20 volumes. So
it's actually long as fuck.
Right.
So yeah, as far as it being in its final stretches, like we're really starting to see some shit. Like, and this was cool because you got to see. This was your first time seeing Shanks and his crew do anything outside of just show up and be cool and then dip, or a reference to them being cool. And this was like, you really get to see that them and the Straw Hats, they have their parallels. Because it's like, all right, we're pirates, but like we're a group of real niggas. Like we have a heart. You know what I'm saying? We're not out here just bringing chaos and destruction and like oppressing people. We're just like,
hey,
we like to.
I'm fighting the government.
We like to drink on a boat. Yeah, it's cool because like even like Usopp, like his dad is on Shanks's crew, so they kind of have that connection.
Did we know that beforehand, or is that like some?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because even when Luffy and Usopp met, he was like, "Yeah, my dad, Usopp." So yeah, they're both snipers, and that's cool.
So speaking of snipers, dang, there are so many. Now that I'm really looking at the notes, I'm like, we could have.
We live in America. Chainsaw Man, Gun Devil, boom.
Right. There is
Chainsaw
crazy.
Man, Justice Devil.
Don't go to school tomorrow. Huh? Yo, the Chainsaw Man anime is so good.
Yeah, the Chainsaw Man animes. Do you watch that 30-minute video from Mother's Basement about the opening? No, it's a good analysis.
I don't care.
Galaxy Brain. Like, that opening is the most interdimensional 5D chess opening.
I'm aware. I'm tapped in. My third eye's already open. I don't need some white man. I don't need some.
We're manga readers. We're waiting for y'all to understand what's going on.
This dude's been this dude reads it week to week.
Okay, and who was yelling "Read Chainsaw Man" from the rafters beforehand?
Yeah,
well, I don't know. He could have been reading it from day one too.
Yeah, he's been there because he's been talking about Chainsaw Man and like he'll be doing a Promised Neverland thing and being like, now they can't fuck this up with Chainsaw Man. That's like, it's like what? They're not gonna fuck up Chainsaw Man.
Look.
But yeah, he's been yelling on YouTube about Chainsaw Man.
Yo, please quit bitching about the CGI. It's not bad. Like, what are y'all talking about? A lot of this shit isn't even fucking CGI. Right, it's just it's so shady. Like, come on. Like, y'all don't pretend this is the early 2000s level fucking CGI that you've seen. Like, that's not the case.
Right, people are just at this point. People are just looking to nitpick. Like we are
need something to bitch about. They can't just sit down and enjoy something.
Right, enjoy good shit. No, it's not even something.
How are you gonna bitch about it on Twitter? Yeah. How, Sway?
Yeah, if you don't like it, just stick to the manga.
No, they ain't reading the manga. What you talking about?
I mean, I feel like I am slightly part of the problem because my hero is really my hero is just butchering some of the scenes. Like,
I've been enjoying this season.
I mean, the season's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, part of the reason
It was hyper in my head.
It was hyper in my head. I mean, last season, the fucking My Villain arc, that was hyper in my head than it was animated.
Yeah. No, last season wasn't that gas like it was supposed to be.
And this season of Miriko, it took her like 3 episodes to run down a hall and kick a tank. That was like a chapter.
No, that shit was some chapters.
But the One Piece question I wanted to ask you. How are you feeling about One Piece Odyssey coming up?
Oh yeah, I think I might get that shit like when it comes out actually.
That's the day one. Because I know you in anime games like me, I will
fucking hate them. Fucking hate them. They suck. I feel like goddamn. I can't think of his name. Anime games were a mistake. I feel like Miyazaki. Anime games were a mistake.
I am a casual enjoyer. But yeah, so One Piece would it be your first day one anime game, Cop?
Maybe, because it's not a fucking arena brawler. Like, stop making those. Stop making them. Stop making them. Like, don't make any more My Hero games.
Well,
don't make any more.
Dragon Ball Fighters was the day one.
Oh yeah, that was pre-ordered.
Oh wait, but that's Arc System. Come on,
they finally gave us what we want. You know, me specifically. Like, you feel me? But like, stop making these fucking anime brawlers, dog. Stop. Yeah, My Hero should take the Spider-Man approach or take the Marvel Ultimate Alliance approach.
I'm thinking Ultimate Alliance. I was thinking
they should call it there. Spider-Man would be fine because of Black Whip. You just fucking swing around the city, saving people as Deku.
That's the thing. CyberConnect, I feel like they should just stick to just having CyberConnect, because CyberConnect has made enough of them that they've reached a quality bar that's like consistent enough. The Demon Slayer game, I'm not like It's not 10 out
The
of
Demon
10.
the Demon Slayer game was solid, but it's still the same thing.
Right, but that's one studio. If they only had one studio, the one studio that's actually
Making
good
the
at doing it,
same, they're just going to make the same game for different series. I don't want that. That's like different series have different personalities. You know what I'm saying? So they should lean into
up,
that.
My Hero needs an Ultimate Alliance game because the biggest problem with My Hero is that basically, if you're not one of 3 characters, you don't get you get your little crumb of development every 160 chapters.
Well, no, they got this tentacle nigga going crazy.
Oh no, he is. but isn't this the first time he's got any development the entire series though?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He had to wait 80 something chapters.
He had to wait 300 something chapters. He had little moments here and there, but like, oh, I'm literally toting you on my back.
Exactly.
Twice. Twice. I'm literally toting you on my back. Twice.
Taxi twice. I'm just saying, like, imagine a 4-player Marvel Ultimate Alliance game where if you're playing single player, you can swap through characters. You have your chance for a little banter, your little banter moments, your little character development, yada yada yada.
Most importantly, combination attacks.
Right.
Also with the One Piece movie, combination attacks. Oh my fucking god. But yeah, that's what My Hero needs to like lean into for a video game for sure. And like the cosmetics, come on, you could prop your game up with that. I don't want to be that person, but you really fucking could. But instead, they'll probably just make it a mobile game and put half as much effort into it,
Even
a quarter of the effort.
Or they'll just put it on mobile, give it everything that it needs to survive, never port it to console, and shut down the servers.
Yeah. We're not talking about Square Enix, but we can talk about the former Square Enix Montreal just changed their name to Onoma now that they were bought by Embracer Group, and now they're shut down and all those developers are looking for jobs.
They literally announced that shit last week. They changed their name. And then this week, they're like, yeah, we're shutting down the studio. Most of y'all losing your jobs. Some of y'all going over here. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, why are you buying these studios if you're just about to shut them down? It's like, are you doing it just for the IP?
Yeah.
Was this too ambitious of a grab? You're like, oh shit, we need to cut back to save some bread? Or was this always your intent?
But the thing is, what they've been doing is they'll buy these developers for the IPs, and then they'll just keep the people who like actually want to make those games, like SpongeBob and Saints Row, and they'll
SpongeBob and Saints Row in the same sentence.
I mean, that's Embracer.
For the same thing. We'll embrace anything so we can shut it down and steal it.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping these Tak and the Power of Juju remastered games actually come out, because that's quietly been happening in the background, and they have the license to all those Nickelodeon games. Hey, Tak and the Power of Juju back on GameCube was a good game.
Okay, I'm going to say this right now. GameCube era was that generation was the generation of games that were janky, a little janky, but they had so much charm and personality. It was fun.
They had that good jank.
And like a lot of that came from THQ, and now that Embracer owns the THQ name, they own all of that stuff.
But I don't think they're going to actually, but this is how we get the gritty Tak and the Power of Juju reboot.
Yep, that's possibly totally 110% a possibility. But I mean,
Tak and the Power of the Glick. Sometimes Juju ain't enough.
This is the most powerful Juju of all. It's called the Glicky.
It's called the bad Juju from Destiny.
Hey, where do you think it came from? What do you think
the signs are here all along. But yeah, so it sucks that Embracer has, because they bought Gearbox and they kind of have fumbled Tales from the Borderlands. The only thing that they've done with all these studios they own that's even remotely like well regarded is the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated because people actually liked that game back in the day. So I'm just hoping, because people, even their ports of Saints Row the Third to like the Switch and stuff like that, those have been like, they're doing what they need to do, and a lot of their games are coming out on Game Pass, on PlayStation Plus. Like the amount of Embracer games that like all of us have just because they've given a bunch of them out for free through PlayStation Plus. I could see them doing at least relatively cool things. Like they're out here so rich and they own so much. Like they could do some cool things. Speaking of doing cool things,
they're not though. They only care about. I don't know. I don't know what they care about. I was going to say money, but it feels like they're just throwing it away. I don't know.
Oh, speaking of throwing money away, Yoshi P.
Let's be honest here. Did any of what happened yesterday on Twitter going to affect you getting Final Fantasy 16?
No, of course not.
No, it didn't change anything because I'm not surprised, but it's still a fucking slap in the face.
Yeah.
Like the reasoning, just be a fucking buck. Just be transparent. Just be honest. Just say how it is. Don't lie. Don't fabricate some shit.
And then like
don't give us some sanitized nonsense.
Something has to be lost in translation because there's no like Yoshi P.
He's still fighting whitewashing allegations, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, there is. You stole a.
Yo, Michael P. said this yesterday on Twitter. He was like, "Least being the leader of least being the leader of Alamigo hits different." White, blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
She was the
leader of all.
She was supposed to be black. In concept art, she was black, and then
a little color to her. That's the thing about it.
Really?
To her originally.
Wow.
In 1.0, she had some color to her. In A Realm Reborn, she had some color. It was falling into that life stream. That's when everything started happening.
Yeah, you stole. She definitely got
Yeah.
Definitely got bleached.
Turn that slider down.
But yeah, you can go in with the statement from yesterday, though.
Oh, I'm looking for the actual statement. So essentially, just Final Fantasy 16 is being criticized for not having people of color, and essentially the defense was it wouldn't be realistic, even though it's a Final Fantasy game, to have people of color based on like in a game based on like.
Because he was like, Final Fantasy 16, while it is a fantasy and while it is a fantasy game, it is based in reality. And it's like, well, that's like just riding fucking dragons. Like, come on. And he was saying this area is based in one section of the world and it's basically isolated. And there's no planes, there's no phones, there's no TV. So just having different people in this world would kind of break the immersion. And it's like,
what would work in real life though, because everyone got everywhere. Fucking
right.
Like
right. Like what the fuck? Like you if you look at medieval like history or you find any type of art, anything, there's always black people there. Because that's consistent.
About it. The idea that people were not. There's a point in history where people were not traveling is dumb as shit.
Yeah.
Like, humans we move around.
Like the fuck? Boat? Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Don't boats exist? Boats exist. Legs exist. People can climb a fucking mountain. People can walk a fucking trail. If you're moving your camp, you're just going to keep migrating. And boom, you end up in a different place.
Right, you're gonna run into somebody that doesn't look like you.
Right. So, I mean, I guess whatever, but I feel like that explanation of it is, that I feel like that's doing it a disservice as to what it is.
Because
And then even like trying to other people and saying like, this is a Japanese studio, no, that's not an excuse. It's 2022. Like these, like there's information out there, or even if there's like people are saying, hey, we should probably add in these characters, and y'all are just like, no, it doesn't really fit. Like that's not really an excuse because it does fit. It always fits. Like saying that it doesn't exist just isn't true. That's leading more into like white supremacist like thinking points and talking points. That's the same excuse they use for like, oh, why are these hobbits black? Right? So that's my thing. That's my thing here. I'm not saying that he's racist because I don't think so. But at a certain level, subconsciously, people have been force-fed these ideals, and it's if you don't call people out for that shit, they'll never be aware of it. So
then also
hold people accountable, hold companies accountable.
Think about how every single most fantasy anything has looked in the past 25 years. Like, let's be real. It looks like a Yoshi P. It looks like a Final Fantasy game, and this is also something else: is that Yoshi P's character designs aren't different than any other Final Fantasy game, excluding the creative character MMOs, because it's creative character.
Right.
So that's consistent.
Yeah. So. Just something you should be aware of. You should probably hear out those criticisms and look into that going forward. Square Enix as a whole, because I still remember what they said about Freya having a certain hip hoppy theme to her. Like the actress brought Faye, like the actress is black. They brought a certain like hip hop theme to it. You're like, what the fuck do you mean by that? He couldn't really give an answer because
the ability to do syncopated rhythms.
It's like her gait. It's so like it's rhythmic. It's got a certain flow to it. It's like where the bitches and hoes. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I don't even know how to go to talk about this.
Actually, speaking of Yoshi P, I finally beat Shadowbringers. I'm finally in the Endwalker. I'm in Sharlayan.
Good shit.
I'm dealing with people who don't season their food.
Yep.
They do not season their fucking food.
And also, Adventurer is a trade. And you would know this if you weren't so stuffy in your fucking books. I know more about most things than you.
Yeah.
I had to swap to Scholar every time I'm in the Sharlayan.
Yeah, I was doing that for a while.
I was like,
and then eventually I'm like, I'm a samurai. Fuck y'all. I'm gonna go get me some green tea. I'm gonna go to the one place that has good food.
Heck, and this is the hilarious thing, is that if we told the Sharlayans a third of what we found out in 5.5, like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, they were at the point that they just weren't going to listen to us no matter what.
They were being dickheads.
Because they ain't shit. Why do you think the twins left in the first place?
Yeah.
Why do you think
Their
the Scions left?
Ain't shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I saw some Deviant fan art of him and his wife, so that has skewed my opinion on them.
Is that all it takes? Is that all it takes?
I was like, I can't look at them the same. I'm disturbed. When the books close, it's going down.
God.
Oh man, have you gone to Fafnir yet?
Yeah, I also dealt with the intense aether sickness, had me and the squad fucked up. That was hilarious.
Have you met that really nice elephant lady?
No, I have not met her yet.
Okay.
Yeah, the elephant.
I find myself humming that all the time.
Yeah, the Razat Han theme is just one of the, and then like the further you get into the post game, the more time you spend with Razat Han.
when that trombone comes in.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so What were you
Like
saying?
straight up, the main reason why I'm having so much fun with this expansion is because I'm playing Monk.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'm like, you said you got the level skip, and I mean, you're out here doing the content, so soon enough, you'll be able to do the Alliance raid and the normal raids. We got to get you some of these mounts. No, we got to get Madrid the
Really, what I
Rathalos.
need to do is the moment I finish the storyline for Endwalker, I'm going to get my crafting classes up to max because I want those chocobo bardings from the raids, from the trials.
Okay. I mean, I almost definitely have whatever materials needed to make these bardings, so...
And also, my chocobo needs a raincoat. Just 300.
Is that like a Endwalker specific, like high-end something I don't know about crafting classes?
No,
Like-
it's just from turning in your gathering scripts.
Okay.
From doing in-level gathering.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Do I have it set for 2 people? Boom. Haha. Unbroke the stream real fast. Madrid comes
And
back.
repro the stream real fast.
Yep, it's fine. It's just a click of a mouse away. Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah, it's like really what I needed with that game was to start like really hardcore learning a new class.
Yeah, that'll do it. That's why I was playing a lot when we were doing our relic grinds the other day. I was playing Samurai a lot. Because
Another thing, I want to get on that relic grind.
yeah, you could really go start it. Have you unlocked? Dang, what's the name of that place? Not the Doman.
No.
No,
The Doman Enclave? Yeah, you should have that.
not
What's
the
the
Doman
Enclave?
Enclave. What's the name of the place that's near the Doman? You go through the Doman Enclave to get there.
It's something to do with Bojan. Have you unlocked the Bojan front?
Yeah, the Bojan
I
Southern
unlocked
Front.
Potion for it.
Yeah, so you got to unlock the Bojan Front to do, and like you can go do that literally right now, and then doing that will let you unlock
Yes, sir.
the Shadowbringer's Relic Grind.
Yeah. I mean, you might as well just go ahead and knock out that story.
Yeah,
That's what I'm working. Well, not real quick. It's 100 and something quests, my boy.
Well, yeah, not real quick, but
it
because
moves.
that just even starting that relic shit is going to take a minute. That shit took me like 2 days to get the shit I needed to start even trying to grind for my relic.
Yeah, I haven't even. I'm still working my way through the Shadowbringers, Hildebrand quests to do that, but I haven't really been on 14 like that. I've been between Overwatch, Fortnite, and Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Fucking Overwatch.
Speaking of Overwatch, they announced their new hero last night. The leader of Null Sector. He has a name. I want to say
Ramada, something like that.
And so we have him, a new tank character coming to the game. It seems like they're going to be actually moving along the plot of Overwatch, trying to get towards the single player being a thing. So that's going to be...
They showed him off like in 2019 during... it was like at the end of one of those cutscenes. I think it was a Uprising or something like that.
Yeah.
But him and Doomfist were talking. Like I said, he's the leader of the Null section. But they're saying like his kit is going to be like... He has 2 different modes. So he has his Omnic mode where he's more like ranged and has a shield. And then he has his Nemesis mode where he's like Doomfist. He's up close and beating the shit out of you.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. He has a cool design. The statue they have of him up at the Blizzard store, like, would be cool to get. But then again, I'm not spending $200 on anything Overwatch related.
I'm not even putting money in the game.
Heck, I'm not even playing the game.
Oh, I'm trying to finish this battle pass because I bought the Watchpoint pack to get it, and I want that Genji skin. I was just going to the pile of really cool Genji skins that I don't get to use because I don't really play Genji.
Yeah. Genji's about to get nerfed too. Plus his counters are going crazy right now.
Yeah.
So I don't fully understand the nerf, but whatever.
All right. And congratulations to Dallas Fuel for being the 2022 Grand Finals champions of the Overwatch League. Burn blue. I don't know. So PSVR, just so we can talk about all these things. PSVR 2 got a date and a price, and completely has convinced me that I am not getting this day one. It launches in February at $550 for just the unit with the headset and the controllers. And then on top of that, they have a $600 bundle that comes with Horizon Call of the Mountain. So,
yeah, that's fucking wild. That's more than the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that's more than the PlayStation. Like, the fact that
I had to look and I was like, does that shit come with the console too? Like, what the fuck?
nope. And that's the thing, like, the PSVR 2, like, it looks like it's going to be super promising, but they've already confirmed it's not backwards compatible. So all the PSVR games that I have, like, some of them will have free upgrades, yeah, but outside of that,
I don't understand that. Like, how is it not backwards compatible?
because, I mean, the tracking systems are different. Like, essentially, the way the tech works on the original PSVR is a lot more proprietary. So people, like, made their games for, like, that old system. And now for the PSVR 2, they're using something more similar to, like, industry standard, like, development techniques. So it's either they could support that old code base and keep holding themselves back and being, like, the difficult platform to work with in the VR space, or they move over to this new code set that will give them the ability to.
So this is this is less about shortcomings in the PSVR 2 and more about, like, a decision they made for the PSVR 1.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But that still sucks though.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of the games that, because you have to imagine, like, their first party VR games, so like Astro Bot Rescue Mission and stuff like that, they'll port over themselves. But the third party, like No Man's Sky, is already talking about doing it. Resident Evil's doing it. Firewall's doing it. So it's just like a lot of the third party, they've developed the game to work on the newer VR platforms and, like, the more ubiquitous stuff that's going to work for PSVR 2. So they can, like, if you put out a game on the MetaQuest in VR, it'll be easier to port it to PSVR 2 than it would have been to port it to PSVR 1.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I feel like this is fucking expensive, and they're not necessarily showing anything that really justifies that price, like, especially for the day one cop.
Oh yeah, no.
Like,
That was
down
the
the
thing. The original, so technically due to inflation, like, when they calculated out how much the PSVR cost initially versus how much the PSVR 2 costs. Like, if you were to adjust the original price for inflation, it still works out to be cheaper. But at the end of the day, the price tag of $600 is like a crazy. Nothing has come out at $600 and set the world on fire, you know?
Like,
right.
Because, like, think about the $600 price tags
also
we've
we're in
had.
an age where it's like, remember, we have yet to have the first. Well, like I said, you know, we haven't seen like the true first party PS5 game yet. You know, and then you're dropping the PSVR 2 for that much.
Well, I mean,
You're still making games for the PS4.
Yeah, and I get that the PS5's not worth it to you, but the PS5's worth it to a lot of people. I don't see the PSVR being worth it to almost anybody.
That's my point. I'm not saying the PS5 isn't worth it. What I'm saying is that how can the PSVR 2 be worth it in an age where, number one, people are still having trouble getting the console, and two, there's not really on it.
Well, I've been seeing like pictures in stores of like it's looking like you can go into a store and get a PS5.
It's probably the Black Friday preparations.
Yeah, but I mean, they're in stock. It's not like they're pictures in like the back room of they're going to do a drop on Black Friday. It's like no, somebody's in the electronics aisle and sees 3 PS5s sitting in the cabinet. So I mean, like
the value proposition of a PSVR 2.
Yeah, honestly, because like if you don't have because that's the thing. I've had a PS5 since launch. It's been about 2 years. I've played a lot of PS5 games. Like I've noticed the haptics. I've noticed the adaptive triggers. Like I feel like my console, like I have been in the next generation for a while now, but the PSVR, and I get that it was similar. The PSVR 1 was a lot more compelling because like VR was newer. Now we know what VR is, and for the price on this, it's going to be a better experience than a MetaQuest, but for half the price, you can get a MetaQuest, and you don't need a PS5 to have it run. You don't need anything external. So yeah, I know I was like I have 2 VR headsets in this room I'm in. I really enjoy PSVR, but not $550 minimum. Enjoy.
Oh no, it's not. It's not it.
Okay, so speaking of not being it, EA and Marvel have signed a 3-game deal. We know we're getting that Black Panther, Captain America game. We know they're working on an Iron Man game, and supposedly they're working on another game. So, going to be getting 3 Marvel games, and Disney's finally not making the mistake of handing over the keys of the castle exclusively to EA. They're just getting some games out of EA now that EA is starting to realize, hey, we can do single-player AAA games, and
They've always known.
Yeah,
it's that remember, single-player games are harder to push the extra monetization with. Simple as that.
Yeah, but if you make up for not having back-end monetization by selling a bunch up front, a bunch of full-price games, because that's what they did with Jedi Survivor, and Jedi Survivor was profitable for them.
It's not about being profitable. It's about making all the money. That's the thing about businesses and why they don't make sense to regular people. We care about money that we can actually hold. They care about money they may or may not make.
Well, I mean, we know the Captain America Black Panther game's probably going to be single-player, and the Iron Man game is rumored to be single player. Like, the Iron Man game is a rumor of a rumor at this point, but it's just like people are talking about it like it's 100% confirmed, but knowing EA, they could still cancel it. Anything you guys would want to see out of a Marvel game that you think EA could do?
Yeah, Marvel Dodgeball.
Honestly, I would love an X-Men baseball game. Just gonna be 300.
X-Men Baseball?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Put the Avengers in FIFA, maybe?
No. God, no. It needs its own separate game.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like the last EA game I cared about was Jedi Fallen Order.
Well,
yeah, mayhaps a Respawn Marvel game, but I don't really know what hero or what group I'd wanted Marvel game from. It's not like I'm up here playing Marvel games anyway. So there's that.
I mean, you're going to give this Marvel Snap a spin, and you're going to see the crack that it's laced with.
We'll see.
I mean, it'll at least introduce you to some characters, because there are characters in it that I'm like, I didn't know this was a character.
Oh, wow, an obscure character.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an obscure character or a character that just hasn't been in the MCU yet? Because
Armor?
I mean, at this point, if you haven't been in the MCU yet, you're obscure.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Unless it's like on some licensing shit, and you're from like the X-Men group, X-Men Fantastic Four.
Or
unless you're from that pocket of characters, at this point, if you're not in the MCU in any type of form, you're probably obscure.
Okay, so the last two things I have on the notes. Nebelian has left Twitter, announced on his Patreon that he was leaving. Started a Patreon. It's really sad that, like, Nibel was one of the sources. Like, when I'm gathering notes for the show, I'd go to my tweet notifications, and I get notifications for like Wario64, Nibel, like PlayStation. There are certain just accounts that I'm just gonna. Certain games like Skullgirls, I get all the tweets from the Skullgirls account. I'm trying to look at some like other like news source based ones, because like it really was Nibel and Wario64, because Wario64 will do a lot of deals, but if anything's going on, I'll get all the tweet notifications with all the screenshots and the trailers attached, just all in one convenient place. But yeah, it's sad to see Nibel go. Not having that Twitter account as a reliable source of news, because even like if Jason Schreier would tweet something that was actually newsworthy, like Nibel would circulate it back in. So even just not even the reporting side of it or like the covering side of it, they're like, oh, I'm just going to retweet this important tweet from somebody that you're not necessarily reading every tweet from.
Yeah, he definitely had like the news coming in. Like anytime it was breaking, there would be more sources attached, and it was just always good to see. It sucks that they're leaving, especially when it comes down to like being able to make money off of what you're doing. And so many other like journalists and games media, they always went to them for like, info and news, and just like, them leaving because of like Elon Musk and fucking just not being able to get paid off of it. That really sucks. So hopefully Twitter just goes ahead and implodes on itself so people can find something else to do with their lives. Because I've been seeing some awful tweets. They just keep getting worse and worse. It's like, I know this is probably to be funny, but it's We've seen it. We've seen every funny tweet a billion times already. Please stop.
Okay, so the last thing I have, my most anticipated game for the rest of the year doesn't have a companion podcast, but Jalen, yours and Chris's does, and I feel like Chris would be upset with us if we didn't talk about this. The Callisto Protocol has a prequel podcast going on leading up to the game.
Yeah. The cast is sick too. Like, you got a bunch of like really good voice actors in it, and heck, I'm gonna be 100 here. Like, thanks to this, I'm more excited for this than the Dead Space remake. Just
That was
straight
going to be
up.
my next question.
Like,
Yeah, I would be more excited for this as opposed to a remake anyway.
yeah, this is.
Both this and the Dead Space remake both seem to be going, like, they're doing semi-similar things, but this is the original creator, and then, like, Dead Space is just a game that's been stranded on Xbox 360, PS3 for so long that it could definitely use some touching up and some modernization.
I mean, part of me doesn't believe that it needs some modernization, especially not the original, because it's such a precise crafted experience that I kind of don't want them to fuck with it, because it's like, it was dark and dingy, and it was dark and dingy during the great age of dark and dingy games. Like, the original Dead Space holds a very special place in my heart. Like, that's when I was like, oh, we can actually have scary modern games in this generation. Because, like, remember, this is the generation of, like, Resident Evil 5. Like, Resident Evil's turning into an action movie. Silent Hill is only being made by Western devs that don't know pacing. Because every single Silent Hill game after Team Silent stopped making them has pacing issues. Like, and not that good. But it's like, so seeing them come back with a new take on the space horror, I'm very into this.
All right.
Yeah, it looks pretty dope. I don't play those types of games, but I would watch it. I'll watch somebody play it and be scared.
Ooh, actually, you know what? I will stream this game. That might be a pretty good idea.
Okay. Yeah.
Camera on. I want to see your facial expressions. I want to see the
You definitely got to get a USB.
No. Full camera. Heck, actually, I'll probably have my camera next week.
Cool. All right. Well, does anybody have one more thing before we wrap? Before we roll?
One more thing. Nah. Go see the One Piece movie.
The One Piece movie.
Even if you don't watch One Piece, fuck it, just go. I saw whole families in there, whole black families.
You'll love to see it.
You love to see it.
All right. Well, until next time.
Tide 2 is free in celebration for the release of Warhammer Dark Tide.
Is it on Steam or is it?
Yes, on Steam.
Oh, shit.
You can go to Steam and get Vermintide 2 for free. And I would recommend it. It is a fun game. It is a fun co-op.
I ain't playing shit with rats in it.
Okay.
Especially not hordes.
Skaven are fucking Skaven. They're worse than rats. They're rats with nukes.
Okay. Well, remember, until next time, you can follow us all collectively around the internet, cheesycontrollerpodcast.com. We'll be back at Radic Records next week, so look forward to it. You can follow me on Twitter at Anton63X's Madrid.
Speedwagon X.
Jalen.
With Bishop.
All right, this has been a Know It's Good production. The video version is edited by Lon Twist and Mon. The audio version is edited by Iknowjones. Until next time, keep it cheesy.